Hello, this is Ramirez with Tidewater Renaissance Fighting Arts. And today I'm going to talk about the Lord of Battles 15th century cuirass. And I'm talking about it for a couple of reasons. One, I get a lot of questions. I recently put pictures of it on some of the HEMA groups and the harness fecting groups. And I get a lot of questions, is this what you're wearing? And they'll send me a link. Also, it's important to know Cult of Athena now has this one on sale for under $200, which is kind of a big deal. But there's a catch to it, and I'll get to that at the end of the video. So here's the cuirass. That's the front, and that's the back. It's nice. I'm going to divide this into the front and the back plate, just so it's a little easier for me to show it to you. So we're just going to pop the back plate off. It does come with a belt in the front, and that's what's holding this together right now. It's not a full belt, it's a half belt that's connected to the back plate. On the front plate, it is breastplate. It is riveted here and here, so it does have some flex. Not a lot, but it's not like it's just a solid breastplate. The straps that connect it are the two shoulder straps, and it has two side straps. This is in 16 gauge mild steel. It does have some fluting, especially on the top breastplate, and a little bit of fluting, as you can see. On the bottom there as well, the fold. On the back plate, you can see it also has a little bit of articulation, which gives you some flexibility. It connects by the two straps on the side, the shoulder strap, and then, as I said, it has a half belt that wraps around the front. So, good points, bad points, etc. It's mild steel. And as anyone will tell you, mild steel is going to be prone to rusting. So, my advice, and this doesn't matter if you get this or you get a Lord of Battles breastplate or anything that you kind of get in munitions grade, which means stuff you can buy online that isn't custom fitted. Always take care of it. Clean off the original grease, that heavy grease that's on it. Once you do that, I recommend you coat it in fluid film. That's kind of an industrial. You can get it at car places, a lot of times car parts stores, but it's meant to help protect metal from rust. That's usually my preferred way. Is I'll spray it. I'll go outside, I'll spray it, wipe it down a little bit, let it kind of cure for a couple hours. Then I'll bring it back in, I'll buff it up, and be done. And that usually holds pretty good against rust for like a while, depending on your usage. Your mileage may vary, you may want to do it more often, less often. When it comes to straps for my shoulders, for my pauldrons, these little connectors do not come with it. They're something that I made. I have a video about creating armor points, and these are just a variation that has a buckle strap. If you see the video for my pauldrons, I think I talk about this assembly in that video. But normally this won't come with these, so if you want to connect pauldrons, you're going to have to find a way to do it. As I said, I find this method, if you're not going for arming points that are directly on your jacket, like these, well, not my hair, but actually you'll see these arming points on my vest. Normally I don't wear this vest when I'm fighting. I have a half vest that has arming points on it, but I actually, for the pauldrons in particular, I use these straps and I connect it to the breastplate. Once again, 16 gauge. If 16 gauge breastplate, fine. 16 gauge cuirass is a lot of weight. So I think that if you're using this for harness, just be aware. I mean, I'm pretty heavy to begin with, and then I put this on. That's going to add a lot of weight. So you're going to see a distinct difference if you choose to go with a cuirass versus just going with a breastplate. I do like the fact that it does have the roping on the arms and on the neck. I think that's more for style. It's not so heavy a roping that you should really count on it to stop weapons, but it does kind of dress it up to the style. I like the riveted folds. I mean, that's how they kind of cut costs by not having it buckle in place. Once again, I'll bring that up a little later because there's a point to that. What are the downsides? Once again, mild steel, you've got to maintain it. It does have that weight, and it is mild steel. Also, it's going to, and this is going to happen with most commercial, I'm going to say most because there's going to be some exceptions coming up, is that it's really kind of flat. You don't get the globose kind of structure. And while I don't see that as a big problem when I'm wearing it, and I have their extra large, we'll talk about sizing in a moment, it's one of those things that amongst harness purists, they're going to be like, oh, that's cheap, that's not made right, it doesn't have that globose quality to it. And you may, depending on where you're fighting at, you may get some commentary about that. To me, this is still, even though it's a cuirass, it's beginner armor. It's a step up to where you're going. So I don't have a problem with it in my club, and I don't have a problem wearing it myself. So I think that as we're working up in armor, this is kind of a really good choice, especially you're talking about a cuirass now that's under $200. It was good when I bought it, close to $300 after shipping, to get it from Europe, because that was the only place that had one in stock at the time. That's a good price to get your first kind of cuirass if you really want to go into that above and beyond just a regular breastplate. It does assemble, but you really kind of need some help getting it on. Now, this is an extra large, and it's measured for 50 inches. Now, I'm a 46 on a good day, 48 on a bad day, chest circumference. A little bit of warning, take that measurement seriously, but also kind of tone it down a little bit. If you're wearing any type of padded gambeson and you're wearing voiders, remember that's going to add to your chest circumference. So this, when we're trying to buckle it in, is snug. Not so much that I can't breathe, but it's definitely, I need other people to help me put this on. I can't put this on myself. And I think even if it was bigger, I still couldn't put it on myself. It's fairly heavy. So you'd really want to make sure that if you're arming in a cuirass, that you have someone else that's going to help you get dressed. That can be another armor buddy that you're fighting with. That can be a dedicated squire that helps you do that. Or like in my case, my squire is my girlfriend. She knows all the ins and outs of putting me in my armor and taking me out of it. So yeah, you do want to have someone who can help you get in and get out of the armor. Now, as I mentioned, this on Cult of Athena, if you go to their website now, it goes for $195, which is insane as far as the price. The reason, I believe, is that Lord of Battles came out with a new Milanese cuirass. It has more of the globose structure. I won't say it's amazing. I don't own it. I've only seen it online. But it also has the fold that actually straps up rather than being riveted, and that's $270. So if you're willing to pay a little more, you might look at that other cuirass from Lord of Battles. As of current, I see that it's on Cult of Athena's site, but I did not check if it's available in all sizes. The extra large in that size goes up to 51 inches, as opposed to this, which is 50 inches. So it has that extra inch of space in it. So it might also be something to look into. I don't have one. If any of you that are subscribed to my channel want to get me one to review, I'd be happy to do it. But and thank you. But other than that, I do have a cuirass that I'm working on getting to update my kit. But since I had so many people ask me online, and I don't mind if you ask me questions online, but it's a lot easier for me to then make a video like this and help answer your questions this way. As far as the cuirass itself, most of the straps have been actually really good. I've had to replace straps on other munitions grade pieces. All the straps were in really nice condition. When you get it, they're actually separately wrapped. You got to unwrap each one. The hardware has been good. The rivets are very clean. The only thing is you got to take care of it. So you got to make sure, get some fluid film, coat it. Make sure if you see any little spots of rust, you get those spots out. I was actually, before this video, I saw a little rust creeping up here. So I, once again, green scrubby, WD-40, get that off there. Wipe it with a clean cloth, then I got some ballistol, or I could have gone with fluid film again, but it would have been a spot treatment. I just treat it right there. So always when you have any type of mild steel, make sure you're constantly doing your upkeep, because the last thing you want is for it to kind of rust over. And if you put no protector, even if you clean it, you get rid of the rust. If you don't put a protector on top of that, some type of oil, it's just going to flash rust again. So don't just get rid of the rust. Make sure to get rid of the rust and then protect it. So I hope this answers some of your questions. As I said, the extra large in this size goes to 50 inches of chest. Make sure that includes all of your, when you're measuring yourself, that you have any voiders or your padded gambeson, and see what that chest measurement is. Because if you don't, you'll be very disappointed that out of armor in a t-shirt you could squeeze into it, and then when you put all your gear on, you all of a sudden can't. I know the pictures that I put on the harness group and on some of the HEMA groups makes it look really, really awesome, and it is, and I really enjoy it with the rest of my kit. But even I'm like, yeah, I want to upgrade with something. I want to get something with tassets or a bigger fuld, like a skirt fuld. And I am working with an armor to get that done, but I will be using this in the meantime, and when I don't use it, I will probably either sell it to a club member or I will hold on to it as practice gear. So, as I said, these aren't necessarily the best. And as I said, purists will kind of be like, this doesn't meet this doesn't meet that. The main thing is, think of this is a munitions grade. This is something that wasn't made to you, but kind of, it's in your rough size. And they do have other sizes. I just happen to be a rather larger fellow. If you're really skinny, maybe the medium or the small will fit you a little bit better. But always keep in mind, whatever the measurement is, measure it with your gambeson on, with your voiders or your chainmail hauberk if you have that, because you want to get that measurement and have a breastplate that is measured to that size. Once again, I'm Ramirez with Tidewater Renaissance Fighting Arts. We're based out of Norfolk, Virginia, and I'll leave information about our club if you're interested. If you do have any other questions, feel free to pop them in the chat below, and I will see you in the next video.